Hello everyone, Gigs here once again. Today we are going to look at a little bit more things on the Aquatic update for 1.13. I'm still in the coral area that I was in for the last video. See it just sitting over there and coming to light with sunset having arrived. So today I wanted to focus on a couple of little different bits and pieces, so we'll be jumping around on a few things. So the first thing I wanted to look at was, not you guys, no, this wasn't supposed to happen. I haven't slept in a bed in a little while, so these guys are going to be bugging us, but that's okay, we'll get rid of them and then we'll be fine. Okay, till the next lot come. Okay, so the first thing I want to take a look at is waterlogged blocks. So in here I have a water source block, and essentially what used to happen when we put a slab in a water source block is that we would lose a water source in there. But now if we go to F3, you'll see up on the right hand side in green it says waterlogged true. So that just essentially means that that is now a waterlogged block. Now it doesn't stay waterlogged once I break it and get it back, but what it does mean is that my water source will still be there. So you can do that with a number of blocks. You've also got your trapdoors. Now this is great for farming, because what it means is that you can have your water there and then just place a trapdoor flat with the ground for when you're doing your farming, unlike needing to put the half slab above or the trapdoor above, so as you walked up you would go up and go down and sometimes end up breaking your farmland. So that's a fantastic help. You'll also notice with trapdoors they're now different depending on what the wood type is for 1.13, so that is a feature which gives you just a little bit more versatility in your builds. They something I mentioned in the 1.4 episodes is that they make great shutters in the different woods. So we've done the trapdoor on the half slab. You've also got the same with stairs as well, so you can put stairs there and still keep your water source. So just some functionality there. Those aren't the only ones. There are fences you can also put in there without breaking the water. Stairs, slabs, fences. That's mostly the cobblestone walls you can put in there without them breaking. So yeah, so just a few bits and pieces that you can then do that with. So that's just a handy little feature that you get. Obviously that means that where in the past you've used half slabs or trapdoors or something to stop the water source or block the water source or remove it, it's not going to do it now. You're going to have to find something else that's going to give you that functionality. The other thing I wanted to also show you was kelp. So kelp is something that is growing in the oceans out here. You can see an awful lot of it here. Even though the water's a little bit dark, you'll see it's quite tall. That's because I've been in this area for quite a while. If I hadn't been here, all this would be quite shorter. I did farm a little bit, so some of it's shorter but not all of it. It's really easy to farm. You just need to go right down the bottom and that easy. This breaks so easy. You can set up an auto farm with it. So it's suddenly gotten bright because I'm in the area of the conduit again. So you'll see that symbol up in the corner there. Got a little more light. So you can see all the kelp is floating to the top. So now that I've gone through and done all of that, I can now collect it all. So yes, so you can actually make automated farms where you've got this growing up into columns of water, maybe pistons to break it down towards the bottom. Who knows? I'm sure there are plenty of very clever redstone people who can think up of ways in order to do that. Obviously gathering stuff now is so much easier that you have the items floating to the top. Now kelp gives us a couple of things. First of all, we can put it in as a kelp we can't, but we can put it in the furnace and burn it and turn it into a food and fuel source. So we'll just use those stairs for now. Just get that cooking away for us. And of course I'm not hungry. It's always the way. I should have eaten last time I needed to eat. Go away. Ooh, that was a bad shot. Oh, never mind. He's helping me get hungry again. Did he come down before I'm ready yet? They've got a bit of an annoying screech to them. But as you can see, if you've got a decent sword, decent armor, they're not difficult to get rid of. So, inside of here we've got some dried kelp. And that dried kelp I can eat. It doesn't give you much replenishment for your hunger. I think it's 1 per hunger, but it works. You can't use the kelp on its own as a fuel source. However, if you put it into a dried kelp block, which you can also revert back to dried kelp, but the dried kelp block you can use as a fuel source. So that is almost a self-cycling fuel source for you. Again, this is something that if you're new to a server, being able to get hold of kelp is pretty easy. You just need to find an ocean, and as you can see, it's quite plentiful. And cook it on up, and you've got a food source. Again, not a great food source. It's not going to you're going to be constantly eating, but it will help sustain you when you've got no other food sources. So another thing that I didn't show you while we were here, and I'll go over and show you now, is the effect of bone meal when you are in a warm ocean. So if I'm in this part and this part is in a warm ocean, you can see the difference in kind of see the difference in the colouring of the water. If I go F3 though, it will just say that, should just say that we're in a lukewarm ocean. So it's not the warm ocean which is over there, it's just lukewarm. So if I apply bone meal here, all I will get is seagrass, and that's all that is. But if I head on over to here, and you'll see it switch over to a warm ocean once we get, see, now we're in a warm ocean. Inside a warm ocean, if I place bone meal, I can also get coral. So yes, the seagrass, but it's also coral. A little bit similar to when you place bone meal on land. You can get the option of getting grass or flowers. Well, these are basically the flowers of the sea. So you will get both the coral and the fans. So I obviously didn't get any fans there, but oh, there we go. When I clicked it against the side there, I got a fan. So that was kind of cool. And I can also do it on the coral itself. That one. There we go. So you're not guaranteed to get the coral every time you do it, but it's just there. You can only get it if you're doing it on coral blocks, on gravel, sand, or dirt. So anything else. So if I try and do it on here, ooh, wasn't supposed to work on Prismarine, I thought. But possibly that's a water block, so that could be why. What else have I got? Let me try and put down some wood, and ideally it then shouldn't work on the wood. I'm not going to be able to... Oh no, I gave it on the wood as well. There you go. the instructions I read said that that wasn't supposed to happen. But that's fine. I'm not going to complain. But it's certainly one way if you're building in a wall motion area, that if you want to get a little bit of colour onto your build, you can just sit on down there and bone meal away on it and get some extra coral. It also means that while these blocks are not self-sustaining, so once you've mined them, you can get extra coral and the coral fans as well, which is kind of cool. Don't think I've seen it do the sea pickles at all, and it didn't mention that it could do sea pickles, but you never know. Again, it told me that I wouldn't be able to do it on normal blocks either, so it lied there. But that is essentially the things I wanted to show you over here. Now the other thing I wanted to show you was the ability to use kelp to create water source blocks. So we'll head on over here, and firstly we'll just have a look over here. So out of that kelp block I managed to make 20 dried kelp, so that gave me an additional 11 over top of the 9 that I expended to make the block. So you can definitely see that by using the fuel to do the kelp itself, you are going to be fine. Oh. Ha! Set fire to myself. I've got quite a few of these guys up here now. This could end in disaster. This is what happens when you don't take a bed with you when you go places, which I'm better off killing this way. Trident's not good for killing phantoms. Good to know. And obviously my flame on my sword isn't going to do me any good either, because it is raining. These guys ideally should be dying, but the rain will be keeping them alive. There we go, got rid of them. No more should generate while it's raining and keeping them alive. It shouldn't allow them to generate. So yes, so for the kelp, definitely self-sustaining with the using the dried kelp in order to cook more kelp. Now, so what we wanted to do was show you how to use the kelp to create water source blocks. So what we can basically do is, if I go down a few blocks and I put my soul sand in there. So if you remember from soul sand, we needed for each individual one to be a water source block in order for the bubbles to work properly. So if I just placed a, I'm hoping I've gone deep enough, if I just placed one block up the top, I won't get the bubbles. And that's because the water is flowing down, it's not actually a source block in each individual one. If I took that out and I put a source block there, you'll see we've got the bubbles, and then I put another one on top. Oops. Another one on top, and we've got the bubbles. So we'll just get rid of those for now because we don't want them. So now we're back to our non-water source. So if I then plant kelp at the bottom, which I can't do because it's soul sand. Duh. If I let's put a sand down there. And then I'll place the kelp. So kelp, dunk. And when that kelp grows, it will essentially create a water source block. So you could do, so if you were doing a for example, your mob grinder, you wouldn't necessarily need to go up and do every single water source block. You could go up the top, place your water source, let it flow down, and then at the bottom plant a kelp, and just allow that kelp, while you're doing everything else in your mob grinder, just allow that kelp to grow. I don't think I can apply bone meal to it to make it grow faster. No, it's a time thing. But essentially, yeah, so that will grow up, and then if I replace that sand down the bottom with soul sand, I will get my bubble elevator again, because both of these blocks will be source blocks. You can't see that. I don't think it does it to the bottom one straight away. Oh no, there you go. It did it to the bottom one straight away. So it was actually, there we go, that quick. So again, if I place the soul sand down there, because they're source blocks, I've got my bubble elevator. So it's that simple as far as getting that done, rather than having to, you imagine if you were doing this over 23 blocks or over 50 blocks, you're doing a water elevator from say the ground up to build height, something like that, then you can quite easily just grow kelp to fill in all those water source blocks rather than having to do it yourself. So that is that. Now, so today we covered off bone mealing over in the warm ocean, the kelp, and using blocks that can be waterlogged, and the advantage of having kelp to fill in water source blocks. So I hope all of those things, well, not fun and exciting to show you, well, apart from the phantoms coming along, I hope they've at least been a little bit informative and will get you thinking about how you can utilise some of the additional aquatic features within your builds and for your gameplay. Hello, Mr. Turtle. So once again, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all your support, and have a great day.